Hi everyone, welcome to the greenhouse. Today's lesson is on the electromagnetic spectrum. So I'm going to show you a picture of the electromagnetic spectrum actually. We've been naming the colours in the rainbow probably since primary school. In between red and yellow you've got orange, but actually in between red and orange you've got some sort of reddy orange colour. When we're naming the colours in the rainbow, we normally miss that out. And in between orange and your reddy orange, you've got a reddy orange, I guess. The rainbow is a spectrum. It's not distinct bands of colours. So in between our kind of brackets of colours that we've put on it, there's colours in between, which I'm sure we can all see from looking at a rainbow and appreciate. And there's also colours that we can't see. So these waves, as you go from red's got a longer wavelength than orange, which is next to it. And orange has got a longer wavelength than yellow, and so on. And violet or purple has got the shortest wavelength. There are waves, though, that have got an even shorter wavelength than violet. And those waves are called ultraviolet. Yeah, ultra meaning like a bit more than violet. And we've heard of those as well. They come from the sun and it might cause us damage or maybe a suntan, that sort of thing. Past ultraviolet, there's more waves that we can't see. Yes, we can't see ultraviolet. We also can't see X-rays, which are even smaller in their wavelength than ultraviolet. We also can't see gamma waves, which are even smaller than X-rays. And these waves, ultraviolet, yes, it's I guess fairly dangerous, we say, don't we? Too much of it. X-rays, also fairly dangerous, too much of it, but they're more dangerous. And gamma rays, even more dangerous than that. We know about the ionisation properties of gamma waves from the nuclear physics module that we've just done. But actually, X-rays are ionising as well, just not so much. And ultraviolet waves are a little bit ionising as well. Go on the other side of your red, there's actually waves that have a longer wavelength than red, and we call them infrared. Yeah, infra actually normally meaning below. Although I've said it's got a longer wavelength, it's actually got a lower frequency, so that's why it's named like that, infra. And then, infrared. So it's next to red. But you can't see infrared. But you can feel it, and it's causes a type of heat transfer. And also useful, I guess, in remote controls and stuff, also work on infrared. There's a wave that's slightly longer in wavelength than infrared. So microwaves have a longer wavelength than infrared, and radio waves have an even longer wavelength than that. The wavelength of a radio wave can be up to maybe a kilometre. They're really long radio waves. So this is our electromagnetic spectrum, the whole thing, from radio waves to gamma waves. So we're going to start off by trying to remember the order. You'll notice that I've got these two diagrams, one on the top, one on the bottom. The diagram on the top, we're starting at radio waves, we're going to gamma rays. So radio, microwave, infrared, visible, ultraviolet, X-ray, gamma rays. Diagram on the bottom, we're starting at gamma rays, and then we're going X-rays, ultraviolet, visible, infrared, microwave and radio. So they're in the same order, but the top diagram starts at a large wavelength, really long waves, like kilometres long radio waves, and the bottom diagram starts at gamma rays, so really short wavelengths and high frequency. Both diagrams are right, and you need to know the order, but you don't need to know the order from starting from high or from low. Yeah, so that means that you need to know which is which, and that radio has got a really long wavelength or a low frequency. So the first task is about remembering the order of the electromagnetic spectrum. So either creating a mnemonic or maybe a song or a poem or something. Probably a mnemonic is the way that you'll go with this. There is actually a song that I'll link a video to that's quite irritating, and normally in my lessons I'll play it maybe 4 times through to kind of not necessarily as
a kind of torture method, but so that you can remember the order of the electromagnetic spectrum. So I'll link a video to that as well. I mean, it's not good music, I'll be honest. I quite like a mnemonic though. So if you go from the long wavelength, you've got these letters, and so what you do for a mnemonic is you think of a word beginning with each letter so that it makes a sentence. You could start at the other end and create a mnemonic the other way. I'd say that's probably harder, but as long as you know which is the long wavelength and which is the short. So this is the long wavelength, this is the short, or this is the low frequency, this is the high frequency, and this is the short, and this is the long wavelength. Then it doesn't matter which side you go from. I'm going to say that you probably, when we're doing mnemonics, if it's a little bit rude, then you're more likely to be able to remember it. And I'm not proud of this, but I'll show you the one that I've been using since I was sort of 16. And I'm not going to say it aloud just in case your parents are listening in the background. But this is the mnemonic that I use. I'd like you to come up with your own, please. Or, as I say, you could come up with some song lyrics or a poem or something. But probably we're all going to go for this. It's the most memorable way. And if you use my one for remembering it, then that's fine. I'll just say about those though, although I said that we can have them that are a little bit rude, we don't want any that are offensive to people. Thank you.